Please be seated. The court is now in session. Today the chamber will hear the testimony of a witness through TCW 34. Greffier, could you report the attendance of the parties and individuals to today's proceedings? Mr. President, for today's proceedings, all parties to the case are present, except for Mr. Nguyen Chi, who is present in the holding cell downstairs, as he waived his right to be present in the courtroom. The waiver by Nguyen Chi has been delivered to the greffier. The witness who is to testify today, that is through TCW 834, has confirmed that through his knowledge and ability he has no relationship by blood or by affiliation to any of the two accused, that is Nguyen Chi and Khieu Samphan, nor to any of the civil parties admitted in this case. The witness already took an oath before the Iron Statue this morning and is waiting in the waiting room to be called by the chamber, and we don't have any reserved witness today. President, thank you. And before we ask the witness to enter the courtroom, we will decide on the request by Nguyen Chi. The chamber has received the waiver by Nguyen Chi dated 29 January 2015. He stated that due to his ill health and because of his backache and headache, he cannot concentrate during the proceedings. As a result, he would like to request to follow the proceedings today, that is 29 January 2015, from a holding cell downstairs. The counsel has also informed his accused that this waiver does not mean it is prejudicial to a fair and just trial against the accused. Also, the chamber has noted the medical report by the duty doctor dated 29 January 2015, who notes that the health condition of Nguyen Chi is of backache and dizziness from a prolonged sitting, and that it is difficult for him to follow the proceedings in the main courtroom. As a result, he recommends that the accused shall be allowed to follow the proceedings remotely from a holding cell downstairs, and in pursuant to Rule 81.5 of the internal rules, the chamber grants Nguyen Chi's request to follow the proceedings from a holding cell downstairs remotely for today's proceedings. As Nguyen Chi waives his rights to be present in the courtroom, the AV unit is instructed to link the proceedings to the holding cells downstairs so that he can follow the proceedings. And that applies for today's proceedings. The International Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. President, Your Honors. We have one matter we wanted to raise before the witness is brought in, and this is a matter of trial procedure that may affect this witness and others. As Your Honors would be aware from the summary of the witness's expected testimony, there are matters that could be of privacy concerns to this witness, very sensitive matters that the witness may address, that we expect the witness to address during their testimony. In other courts where I've worked, the party calling the witness would have discussed this already with the witness to determine whether, in fact, the witness has concerns about testifying in public about these issues, and whether there would be a matter that would need to be raised with the court about possible closed session. Of course, in this system, we do not have an opportunity to discuss this with the witness, as we have no contact with them. Also, this being a witness as opposed to civil party, there is no lawyer representing the interests of the witness here today. So we would ask that when the witness is brought in, perhaps Your Honors, or if not Your Honors, the party calling the witness, advise the witness that if they have concern due to privacy to speak about certain matters in a public forum, that they bring that to the court's attention, and then we could then deal with that amongst ourselves and with the other parties and the court. And I also, Your Honor, I just want to advise the court that because I have an appointment at 10, I apologize that I'll be walking out before the end of the session myself.
President, the Chamber would like to give the floor to Judge Friends to respond and clarify the issue raised by the international co-prosecutor on the issue of considering a private session for a particular witness. Judge Friends, you may proceed.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. To the best of our knowledge, there is a procedure in place. WESO, who is in contact with all the witnesses, informs them accordingly. That has so far helped us to actually implement halfway sensible article, I think it's or internal rule 29, which actually has time limits for protective measures. However, should the witness raise a specific issue during the hearing, we'll rule on it.
Honors, we have not received any communication from WESU. Perhaps Your Honors have, but do we know that they've discussed this with the witness and what the witness's position is? We haven't received any information. Are we to presume that the witness was told about the right to request private session and declined?
As I said, we have had the practice before, and it is our understanding that WESU informs the witness accordingly. As to the details, we would have to check. But as I said, if the witness has a specific request to make during the session, which is a bit late, given that to implement certain protective measures, you have to do technical things, which is the reason why we usually tried to be informed a bit earlier. Nothing to add at the moment.
Thank you. I would just, of course, point out that the parties calling the witness, in this case the prosecutor, or suggesting the witness, in this case the prosecution, don't have the opportunity to make a motion based on the witness's wishes, as we don't know the witness's wishes. So we could not comply with the time limits of any rules regarding protective measures, and this is dealing more with privacy. But I appreciate Your Honor's remarks. Thank you.
President, court officer, could you usher the witness into the courtroom? President, good morning, Madam. Is your name Chiang Sri Mom? Witness, yes, my name is Chiang Sri Mom. Question, when were you born? Answer, I was born in 1955. Question, where is your current address? Answer, currently I live in Nyanyong Commune, Tramkok District, Takeo Province. Question, what is your current occupation? I am a rice farmer. Question, what is your father's name? Answer, my father's name is Jiang Yuan. Question, and what is your mother's name? Answer, Her name is Sao Non. Questioned. And what is your husband's name and how many children do you have together? Answer. My husband's name is Tri Tu and we have 3 children. Question. Can you tell the chamber from 17 April 1975 to 6 January 1979, where did you live and what did you do? Answer. In 1975, I lived in Rusaistrok village, Nyanyong commune. And Mr. President, could you please repeat your question again? President, it's okay. And what did you do during that period? Answer. In that regime, I was a peasant living in a unit. It was during the Pol Pot regime. Thank you, says the President. And as reported orally by the greffier, that to your best knowledge, your father, mother, siblings, or children, or husband, to your best knowledge, has no relationship or connection with any of the civil parties admitted in this case. Is this information correct? Answer. Yes, that is correct, Mr. President. Question. The greffier also reported that you already took an oath before you entered this courtroom this morning to testify. Is this correct? Answer. Yes, that is correct. Before I entered the courtroom, I took an oath before the iron statue. Thank you, says the President. The Chamber would like to inform you of your right and obligation as a witness before this Chamber. Madam Chiang Srimom, as a witness before this Chamber, you may refuse to respond to any question that would incriminate you. That is your right against self-incrimination. As for the obligation as a witness to testify before this chamber, you must respond to any questions posed to you by the chamber or the parties, except for those questions that you think your response or comment may leads to a self-incrimination, as I just stated. And as a witness, you must tell the truth that you have heard, have seen, have remembered, or experienced, or observed personally in relation to any event posed to you by the chamber or any of the parties. And Madam Chiang Srimom, have you been interviewed by any investigator of the Office of the Co-Investigating Judges? If so, how many times and where? Answer. I participated in the investigation by that office once, and that was the first time that I have ever been interviewed. And my apology, Mr. President, sometimes I could not get your question in full. President, can you recall where you were interviewed? Answer. It was held in Risesrok commune, Nyanyong commune, rather Risesrok village, Nyanyong commune. Question. Can you recall when that happened? Answer. I cannot recall the time, as my recollection is not that good. Question. Before you entered the courtroom this morning, have you read or reviewed the written record of your previous interview in order to refresh your memory? Answer. Yes, I have. Question. To your best knowledge and recollection, can you tell the court that the written record that you have read or reviewed is consistent with the responses you provided to the investigator during that interview? Answer. Yes, it is consistent. And it is correct. Thank you. And pursuant to Rule 91 bis of the internal rules, the co-prosecutors will be given the floor first to put questions to this witness. The combined time for the prosecution and the lead co-lawyers is for one morning session today, and you may now proceed.
សូមគោរពលោកប្រធានលោកអស័យចក្រមសូមគោរពភាគីនៅ
National Co-Prosecutor, good morning, Mr. President, Your Honors, and everyone in and around the courtroom, and good morning, Madam Chiang Srimom. I have some questions for you, and please respond to my questions. And if any of my questions is unclear, please tell me so I can refresh it. And if you find it very difficult to respond to my questions, you may also request the chamber to hold the camera in hearing. If there is a case, it means only people in the courtroom can hear your testimony and not the general public. Do you understand what I am saying? Answer. Yes, I do. Question. When did the Khmer Rouge enter Nyanyong commune to control the area? Answer. It happened in 1970. Question. In your previous statement, that is document D232/58, at question number 1, you informs the investigator that initially you lived in your house, but the Khmer Rouge abolished ownership. My question is the following. When did the Khmer Rouge abolish ownership? Answer. It happened from 1970. Then it continued through 1975. Question. Can you tell the court when the private ownership was abolished? When did it happen and when did it end? Answer. It started in 1970 and it ended in 1979. Question. When the Khmer Rouge entered your area to take control, were your people categorized into various groups? Answer. When the Khmer Rouge started to control the area, people were put into two separate categories. The first and the second category. And I would also like to add there was also a third category. So the first group was the full right people group, and the second group was the candidate people's group. Question. Am I correct to say that people were put into two categories, that is a full right and a candidate? Answer. Yes, that is correct. They divided the people into two separate groups. One is a full right and the other one is a candidate. Question. And which group did you belong to? Answer. I was put into the candidate people's group. Question. Did you know why you were put into that candidate people's group? Answer. I was assigned into that candidate people's group because of my biography. They actually reviewed my biography, and my family was considered involved. In the previous regime, and in the previous regime, my family's relatives, including my grandparents, were ethnic Chinese. So for all the children from my grandparents were considered by them as ethnic Chinese. And that's the main reason that I was put into the candidates people's group. And that's the main reason for that, because of my Chinese ancestral relationship.
In addition, my parents were traders. They were small vendors, salt traders, and they were accused of being ethnic, so we were put in candidate people's group. Co-prosecutor, thank you. Question and answer number 2. Your answer number 2, when you gave to the investigator, you mentioned about communal eating. I would like you to have your clarification. When did communal eating start? Answer. Communal eating started from 1970. Cooperatives were established at the time. People were collected and were asked to eat communally from 1970 onwards.
ហើយបញ្ចប់ការហូបចុកជាសម្
Question. And when did communal eating end?
ผมអាចឆ្លើយតបបើមីក្រូហ្វូនតប្រតិបត្តិការទេ
President, please hold on, Madam Witness. You can answer only the microphone is activated. Witness. It ended in 1979 when the regime fell. Co-prosecutor, thank you. In the same document, answer 11, you said some people died because they ate too much and some died of malnutrition. What do you mean by saying that? Answer. Some died because they ate too much. At that time, the daily food ration was not sufficient for us. And one day on the 30th day, we were allowed to eat as much as we could. As you know, because our daily food ration was not enough, and on the day, the 30th, because we had never had enough food to eat, so some ate too much. And some died because of such eating. Prosecutor, thank you. Were there many people sick in your village, or were they sick frequently? Answer. Normally, people got sick almost daily. However, those who got light illness, they continue going to work. And for those who had serious disease and illness, they were afraid of being accused that they would cause impact on leadership. So they went to work even though they were sick. Question. When people were sick, were there any medicines to treat them? Answer. Actually, there were medics. President, please hold on, Madam Witness. You may not proceed. Defense counsel for Mr. Kirtanporn. Counsel, I would like to object present my objection to the question, because prosecutor used a hypothetical question to ask the witness to give her conclusion. Co-prosecutor, I would like to respond to the objection by the defense. Witness said that there were sick people, and my question is, were there medicines to treat people? So it's not a leading question or hypothetical question. I would like to rephrase my question. You said when people were sick, you said that people were sick, so when they were sick, were there medicine to treat them? Answer. At the time people were sick, I could see that people would get sick every day, and there was actually treatment, but treatment was not really well enough. What do you mean by saying people were not treating well enough? Answer. Actually, medics because they discriminate people living in that area. Question. So, could you clarify your answers? So what do you mean by saying medics discriminates? Answer. Actually, medics discriminates us. We were normal, ordinary people. And for those who had a relation with chief of the units or chief of the teams, so medics would take care of those people. As for us, we did not have any relation with anyone, so we were not fully treated. My younger sister was a medic, and when there were members from her group got a stomachache, upset stomach, and then that member was accused of being pretending such disease, and that person was stricken, and the medic said they wanted to use a kind of medicine to treat her. Question. I would like to move to another topic concerning the disappearance of your father. Could you tell the chamber, were there any family members in your family arrested? Answer. I had a lot of relatives, and many of them disappeared. In particular, my father was arrested at 7 p.m. Rather, my father and mother stayed at home at that night. At 7 o'clock, the chief of the unit called my father to get out of the house, and then my father disappeared. My mother at that time called my father, and she did not know where he went. I was told that my father was talking secretly to someone down below the house, and then he disappeared. So we believe that he was killed. He was killed in 1977. I have the evidence to support what I said. I saw a note, a record at Krang Tachan Security Office. Krang Tachan Security Office is the place to store bones and remains. I went to the place once to join the ritual. At that time, I could see one record, and there was my father's names in that record. His name was Jiang Yuan. because my father, he was killed because he was against the regime at the time. Counsel, co-prosecutor, thank you. You know that your father was arrested and killed. So when was he arrested and killed? Answer. My father was taken away at 7 p.m. from our house, and I do not know when he was killed after he was taken away. Question. Did your father live in Nhai Nhong at the time? Answer. My father lived in Rusai Srok village, Nhai Nhong commune at that time. Question. You recall and mention about Krang Tajan security office. Do you know where Krang Tajan security office is? And where is it exactly in your village? Whether it is in the east, west, north, or south of your village? Answer. My father was killed in Krang Tajan. He was killed in Kus commune. It was in the northwest to my house. Question. You mentioned the time that is 7 p.m. when your father was taken away. Where were you at the time when your father was taken away? Answer. I was in woman unit at Kuh Pagoda. Question. You were at your unit at the time. How did you know your father was taken away at 7 p.m.? Answer. At the time, my younger sister came to visit us, and she wept, and she told me that our father was taken away and killed the day before. The village chief came to our house and called him out. My mother told me that the village chief called my father out of the house at 7 p.m. So I could say that my father was taken away at that time and he disappeared. Question. What was the name of your younger sister? Answer. My younger sister's name was Jiang Ain. She was also in woman unit. Co-prosecutor, thank you. I will now move to another topic concerning marriage. Did you get married during Khmer Rouge time? Answer. I got married in Khmer Rouge time in 1977. Question. Could you tell the court why were you required to get married during Khmer Rouge period? Answer. I got married during Khmer Rouge periods. As I said, I was in a women unit and I was tasked with taking care of children, and I was considered that I had a link with the previous regime, and also because my father was killed, I was removed from my units so that I could be matched with my husband's name, Tri Tut. So this is a way that they did to me, and I was removed from the units, and I was asked to make my resolution with my husband. Question: who told you that you needed to get married, or did you decide to get married by yourself? President, witness, please hold on.
I apologize. I was going to object to the question already before, but the adding of the second question makes a choice, because right now the witness seems to be led into the requirement, and she hasn't said anything yet about the requirement. So preferably prosecutor would ask open questions and not go straight to requirements or any deeds or acts of forced nature. So that is my objection. But because of the last additional question, I sat down again. So there is.
Co-prosecutor, do you remember the last question, or do you want me to repeat my question? During Khmer Rouge period, did you get married on your own will, or was the marriage arranged for you? Answer: during that time, I did not get married voluntarily. I lived in my units one night at 7 p.m. At 6:30 p.m. rather, there was a letter inviting me to gather at the commune office as quickly as possible. At that time, I did not realize my father just passed away 2 days ago, and when I was invited and called, I was horrified because I did not know what was going to happen. When I arrived at the place, all the unit chief told me that I had to be prepared because Angka would ask me to make a resolution on the night, and I did not dare to ask whom I was going to get married with, and I told her that I did not have any objection as long as my mother and father agreed. I was asked further that were you the daughter of Angka, or were you the daughter of your parents? And I said I was the daughter of Angka. After that, I was told to be ready for the marriage. I asked her who I was going to get married, and I was told I would get married with Tri Tut. Later, marriage was arranged. I was asked to go into a room where the ceremony was held. My husband was not there yet, so I was waiting for him. After a while, he arrived. Co-prosecutor, you mentioned about the phrase making resolution. What do you mean by the term? Answer. There was unit chief, and commune chief presided over the marriage ceremony. The groom was asked and was told that you now got married with that lady. Were you forced? My husband said, I got married on my own will. No one forced me. After that, the unit chief came to ask me the same question. I then replied, I got married voluntarily. No one forced me to get married. Actually, I was just trying to provide the answer upon their request. Co-prosecutor, so you did not get married voluntarily. Is that true? Answer. I did not get married voluntarily, but I had to agree to the request. As you know, my father had just passed away. If I refused, I would also disappear. So I would submit myself to their request. Co-prosecutor, am I correct when I said that at that time you told Angka about your will to get married different from your own will? Is that true? Answer, that is true. I got married involuntarily, and I was asked to make a resolution by saying that I would take this man to be my husband for life, and the groom, would say the same thing. After that, the arranged marriage completed. Question: who decides the groom for you? Answer: the one who decided the groom for me was the commune chief. He arranged my marriage by selecting the biography of the groom. So the commune chief matched my husband and my biographies. If we had the same class, we could be matched in our marriage, and we could get married as long as we had quite similar backgrounds and biographies. Question: could you clarify when you said we could get married as long as our background or biography were quite similar? What do you mean by saying that? Answer: when I said that, I want to mean, as for me, in my biography, it was written that I was a Chinese ethnic. And as for my husband's biography, he came from this. He was also a Chinese ethnic, so we were from the same background, so we could be arranged for our marriage. Co-prosecutor, thank you. So your husband was in the same category as you. Am I correct? That is, he was also in the candidate people's group. Answer, that is correct. He was also in the same group as mine. Question. The one who you got married with, that is a 3-2. Did you know him before? Had you met him before? Answer. Actually, we were in the same commune. Although our units were far from each other, but we were in the same commune. I had known him, to some extent. However, I felt at the time that I hated him. After I was asked to make resolution at that time, I felt remorse because I did not love this man. I hated him, frankly speaking. And I was asked to get married with the one I hated. Actually, I got remorse at the time. However, I had to force myself to get married because I was afraid of them at the time. Question, am I correct to say that you were forced to get married with the one you hated and you did not know well? President, please hold on, Madam Witness. The counsel for Nuon Chea said, Mr. President, you may proceed. Counsel, I am Kong Sam On. I would like to object this question. This is a leading question. A witness said already that she got married involuntarily. She did not say that she was forced to get married. Co-prosecutor asked a leading question, so it is not a proper question to put to the witness.
National Co-prosecutor, I'd like to respond that she did not volunteer to get married, and I hope Mr. President can decide on that. The objection raised by the defense counsel is sustained, and witness, you do not need to respond to the last question posed to you by the National Co-prosecutor. And National Co-prosecutor, please move on. Question, let me put it this way. Did you want to marry a man whom you never knew? President, Madam Witness, please hold on. And Counsel Coupe, you may proceed.
Well, that question, Mr. President, is misstating the evidence because she testified that she actually knew him before they were from the same village. So I think prosecution has to rephrase that question.
National Co-prosecutor, rephrase my question. Did you want to marry that man at the time? Answer. At that time, I did not want to marry that man. Question. During the Khmer Rouge regime, did you fresh difficulty when you were told that you had to marry that man? What was your feeling like? Answer. When I was told to go and get married, I was very sad. In fact, I wept quietly. And frankly speaking, in fact, I went to pray to Buddha at a temple, that I asked Buddha to intervene and not to allow this celebration go on. And if the man that I had to marry with was my true partner, then let the ceremony proceed. Regardless of what I prayed as a result, the ceremony took place. Question. Since you did not want to marry that man, why did not you refuse when you were asked to make a resolution? Answer. Despite the fact that I did not want to marry that man, I did not dare refuse. If I were to refuse not to involve in the marriage, I would be dead. And that's because my father had just died, and if I refuse their proposal, I would be accused of opposing the party, and my whole family would be considered opposing the party, and that means it's my death. So that's why I had to force myself to do what I was told. Now let me move on to the actual wedding ceremony itself. When was it held? At what time? I mean, if you can recall it. Answer. It was 8:30 when the ceremony started. And it continued until it concluded at 10:30. Question. How much time did you have before you knew that you had to marry a man at 8:30 that day? Answer. No, I did not prepare myself for the marriage. I was called by a messenger and I was not told that I would get married. I was scared when I was called. It was not common that a commune chief would send a messenger to call you. And at that time I was afraid that I might have made a mistake or something, and I did not prepare myself for the wedding ceremony. Question. Where was that wedding ceremony held? Answer. The arrangement was at a party's office, that is the office of the Nyanyong commune. And that was the location where the unit chiefs and village chief resided. So we were called to make a resolution there, at that office. Question. When you went to the party's office to make a resolution, that is to get married, was your husband, your future husband, already there? Answer. In fact, I had arrived first, and later on, I was told by my husband that when he went for a meal at the cooperative, he was called by the messenger that he was asked to go and round up the cows at the commune office as they went astray. And he went to the office to enter the office, and he was not aware that he was selected to get married. And in fact, he combed his hair with his hands, and he was not aware that he would be married with me, as he was told to go and to round up those cows who went astray. So he came and sit next to me, and later on we were asked to make a resolution. We both were not aware that we were selected. For me, I was told when I arrived, but for my husband, he was not told at all. Question. Who actually presided over the ceremony and who actually attended that ceremony? Answer. Those who presided over the ceremony, including Eun, the commune chief, and the women's unit chief, all. As for the participants, there was my mother, my grandmother, and some other unit chiefs. There were about 10 participants. Question. Can you say the name again? What was the name of the commune chief who participated in that ceremony? Answer. I only knew that his name was Eun. I did not know his family name. As for the women's unit chief, the name was all. During the regime, we did not know the family names. I only knew the first name. Question. In order to clarify your response, I'd like to refer to your statement at answer number 8. That Bernd was the commune chief and all was the female unit chairperson. Can you clarify whether the commune chief was Bươn or Eun, as you just stated? Answer. The commune chief's name was Bươn. Question. And when you refer to a name Eun, who was Eun? Answer. I think it's my mistake. Question. Can you state again the commune chief who attended and presided over that ceremony? What was his name? Answer. The name was Bươn. President. The time is appropriate for a short break. We will take a short break now and return at 10:30. And court officer, could you assist the witness during the break and have her return to the courtroom before 10:30? The court is now in recess.
យើងក្រងឈរ